that I get some kickback. So, hey, how are you? Appreciate it. Who do I have here? Let me see. Stephanie DeRobertis. What's wrong with your arm?
Is D Robertus, but it's just sore. I have
Oh, carpal tunnel, maybe?
yes, ma'am.
We can't hear you. Okay. Cassandra Dixon, Shelby, Ashley, Kiara, and Karen. Okay. So now you said you can hear me. I can't hear you. So if you have a question, um, you're gonna have to ask it. So I think what I might do is maybe run through what's in your Moodle shell for you, and unless you have some specific questions that you need answered. Alicia, Mays, and Candace. Hey, um, while we're waiting to see if other people are coming in, and I'll try to monitor um, the participant list so that I can let people
He
in.
is.
Forgive my look. I don't know. This is a terrible camera. I don't know. It doesn't do well as far as lighting is concerned. So, but anyway. Do you have any questions that you like to start off by asking? And I did
I
have a
do.
pair of glasses.
I actually
I
have
can
a
see
couple
now.
questions that I would like to ask. Can you hear me?
Yeah, because I didn't have my
Oh,
earplugs
okay.
in.
Okay, my first question is pertaining to text box. Just as far as responding, are we copying and pasting and responding on Word, or are we actually able to respond on the actual upload?
I don't. Okay, good question, but I don't know what I did. I don't know if it's a Word document or if it's a PDF. I cannot remember. I think it's a Word document, but I will check.
Okay, and then as far as the charts, we are using the template that you provided, but we are just entering our own information, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And to be honest with you, with those text boxes, all you have to do, you read those. You don't have to upload that. Just upload the answers. You know, at the bottom, there are about 3 or 4 questions.
Uh-huh.
Just copy, but I do want you to copy the questions onto your response sheet and then
Okay.
just answer them. Just upload that. Don't upload the text box information that I just put that there for your information. So week 4, you don't have to upload all of that information, just the
Okay.
questions.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Good question. Anybody else? Okay, so if y'all are gonna talk, I'll just talk. I'm just gonna run through this with you. Okay, most of you already know that the PPAT is a requirement for you when you're doing student teaching. If you do not student teach, then you will have to, because the state requires some form of student teaching internship. So if you're not student teaching, you will have to use your classroom as your PPAT task venue, okay? So you do that. And if you're student teaching, of course, you will do it while you're student teaching. And that's when you have to do it. As I stated, I think it's about $400. The state does require that you pass the test. And I've included all this in an email to you. I think your passing score is 38, at least 38. There are 4 tasks. It's task 1, which is embedded in this class, it's a knowledge of students and the learning background. Task 2 is assessment and data collection to measure and inform student learning. Task 3 is designing instruction for student learning. And task 4 is implementing and analyzing instruction to promote student learning. And your task 4 comes with a 20-minute, 15-minute video. Gosh, is it 20 minutes? I don't remember, y'all. Lord, 15 minutes, Jesus. A 15-minute video. It could be 3 5-minute segments or entire 15 minutes altogether, but it can not be edited at all. So that's down the road for you. Our focus today is on task 1. Task 1 comes with 4 artifacts for you to upload into your Moodle shell. And those 4 artifacts are your instructional support and resources chart. And I gave you a sample of that. That instructional support and resources chart includes services and resources that are available to you to help you teach or to support instruction. What's in your community? What's in your building that will help you, your school or your building that will help you to teach? What does your district provide to help you teach your students? What support staff do you have? What instructional materials do you have? What kind of curricular programs do you have? How is your school with instructional technology? Do you have any or do you not? Do you have access to student records and student data and anything else that you want to include? So that's your instructional and support resources. What are the resources within your reach, within your grasp that you can use in order to teach in your school? Somebody give me, what are you using as an a piece of instructional technology in your classroom?
I have a touch screen computer screen that's on like a stand. So
Okay.
it's a large computer screen. It's not as big as a smart board, but it's on wheels and I can move it around the room.
Okay, all right. So you would add that. Go ahead.
We have a smart board. We just got those installed this past school year that the children can use.
Okay, all right. So those are some instructional technology pieces that you could include in your chart, and then tell us think about how you're going to use those as you're teaching the students. Then the next chart is the contextual factors chart. It's there to help you understand the different factors that affect the students that you teach. It helps you to understand how those factors relate to teaching. Okay, for example, the knowledge of your students. You have to understand who your students are, where they came from, and what their backgrounds are. And believe it or not, this should be used in helping you develop your lessons and helping you teach your students, because you have to know where they're from in order to be able to help them. There's a poem called "'Cause I Ain't Got No Pencil." And what happens, a young child comes to school without a pencil, and of course, y'all know sometimes we have teachers who don't give students pencils, or paper. They rather punish them rather than to give them the materials that they need. But what happens at the end of the story, it's like, I don't have a pencil. My teacher was upset with me, but when I got up this morning, I didn't have any lights. I had to get my baby sister ready for school. We didn't have any clean clothes because I had to dig in the dirty clothes in order to find something else for us to wear, and so on and so forth. And so he goes to school. Look at what the student had to do prior to getting up and getting ready to go to school. So when the child got there, but he probably put forth the effort to get there to get breakfast. So I'm just saying, those are the kinds of things that you need to have in your background. Now, if Ruby came to school that particular morning, let's say Joshua came to school, that's Joshua, and then it's Ruby. I'm okay. I got up, I had lights, my mom was home, my dad was home, they ate breakfast with me. I had a good breakfast, bacon, eggs, grits, hash browns, orange juice, and anything else I wanted, fruit. And my mama put me in the Mercedes and she drove me to school. Okay, well, I come in and I don't have my homework, but I don't have my homework because I had a ball game that afternoon. So are you going to treat both of those situations the same?
Not if you know the background of the student.
Not if you know the background of the student, and you shouldn't. Yes, if you didn't have the homework or you didn't have a pencil, both students didn't have homework, but you have to think about what happened that Joshua didn't have his and what happened that Ruby didn't have her. There was no reason for her. She went to a ball game, but yeah, Ruby had the background and the resources that she could have gotten her homework done. That was just a different story. So you have to know the background of the students so that you can, and that's all this is about. What is your school district like? What are the cultures? What are the norms? What are the policies and procedures free and reduced lunch, trying to keep my computers on, the graduation rate, 16, and those kinds of things. And what is the community like? Is it urban, rural, suburban, and those kind of things? Socioeconomic status for that area, and the general classroom information, your grade level, your age, or your teaching area. Now, I realize that some of you are not in school, you don't have summer school, and you're not teaching. So you can still do these two charts, because most of this information you can find on a web page for that particular school site. But if you have your own class, just use your own class. Even though you're not in school, just reflect back. And if you have your own class, just base it on what's in your class and what you have. Is that a problem? Does everybody understand that that's what you can use? Okay, so if
Yeah, I did have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm doing NC pre-K, but I'm at a childcare center. So I'm still teaching them. And we don't do the free and reduced lunch, but we do like food programs, and students are there on vouchers and things like that. So can I put that in place of the other information?
Yes, ma'am. And those are just guides. You can add whatever it is that you need to add for that. Okay. Any questions about the two charts, instructional and support resources and the contextual factors? Do you understand those two charts? And I do need you to put down something for each one and kind of explain it a little bit. That would just shore up your chart and make it more valuable to you and to help you to understand. Okay. And as I said before, you saw those. Okay. And you have examples of both of those. Yes, question.
No, I came in late, so I'm lost, but I'll go back. I see that you're recording. I'll go back and see what that was.
No, ask the question. This is what this is for today.
I mean, I just came in, so I don't know what chart you were talking about. Where y'all was at.
Have you
I came on a little late.
Okay, I've asked you to review. I asked you to kind of review the activities that were requested for task 4. So you have 2 charts that you have to submit. Have you reviewed your instruction? Have you seen the instructional support and resources chart?
I haven't looked at the chart.
Okay, all right. So you need to look at those. You can't ask questions. So can you pull up your course now? Can you pull that up and look at those? At least you have some of the.
Okay. What I did, I went over some of the questions that you want us to ask from the 1.1, the text box 111. But I hadn't looked at the charts.
Okay, I think you need to look at your charts. And I think it would be better for you if you can't pull them up on your computer while you're on with us. My recommendation is for you to go out, pull those 2 charts up, look at the 2 charts, and then come back in. And then if you have questions, if you can't understand it, because I provided for you the charts and the samples, take a moment to look at both of those and then come back. And then maybe, well, you want to do that. You may not want to because you'll miss something else, but we'll talk about that later. If you have to stay on last and do it, we'll do it, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You might not want to do that because you might miss something else. Okay, so we have the 2 charts. And anybody else have questions about the chart? Ms. Blaylock, how are you? Anybody else have questions about the chart?
Hi, Dr. Bell. I'm well. I hope you are. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am, I am. Thank you.
Allowing us this opportunity.
You're quite welcome. Listen, why speaking to her, let me share something with you. Please note, and I didn't have trouble with everybody this time, please note that all your assignments are due on Sunday at 6 o'clock. I know that we had one regardless of what the Moodle says. I thought I had gone through and checked it, but I talked with another student today and I corrected some other ones because they were like Mondays. And when I realized, and I looked into my 487 folder, I had a calendar, it had a 2021 and a 2020. And I know I used the 2020 for those dates. So I corrected those. But in the future, if you happen to see a date that is incorrect, shoot me an email. But do know this, that regardless as to what that assignment date and time says, they are always due on Sunday at 6 p.m. Okay, we all can understand that. So regardless as to what is said. And I hope they are good now, but if you do see one, just shoot me an email and I'll be more than happy to correct that for you. Moving on. All right, another document. Yes,
Dr.
yes.
Hi.
Hi.
Sometimes on Sunday, I submit mine a little before 6. Is that okay? Or you want
Yes.
it
By
immediately?
no, no, ma'am. I don't care what time you can submit it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, as long as it's there Sunday by 6.
Okay,
And
I just
then-
wanted to make sure.
Yes, ma'am. And then I use that for attendance. So if you don't
Okay,
submit your
thank you.
assignment, you are marked absent, okay? Okay. All right, so for documents, you have your instructional support resources chart you have to complete and upload. You have your contextual factors chart that you have to upload. Then you have a getting to know your student activity document. That getting to know your student activity document can be a student interest inventory for your grade level, or you can Google other activities. You can do an interest inventory. You can do something what they call a powwow. You can sit around and have the students to go around. And I think there's a POW is your POW is something sad that has happened, and your wow is something that wowed you out that you like. And that way you can learn some things about your students. You could have a writing activity that will ask questions to your students, and you can learn from that. You can send letters home to your parents and send the surveys home to them and allow them to send you information. You can sit down and listen to your students and find out information about them. Whatever it is, one-on-one conferences, look it up. Just look up getting to know you student activities. Find one that's really good for your level that you like and just use it. Now, we don't have students because some of us are not teaching summer school. So what in the world am I going to do about that? You may have some students in your community. They don't have to be on the same grade level. Well, it's okay. Just keep them in the same range. K6 is for elementary, so you can have a 3rd grade, a 4th grade, and a 5th grade. I don't care. What matters is that you get the opportunity to administer that document, that interest survey to some child and look at it and see how you would utilize that in your teaching. That's all that is. This is practice for you so that you will go through the motion so that when you get ready to student teach, you won't say, I don't know what this is all about. What am I supposed to be doing? This is just to help you to see what the process is like, okay? And I am not a stickler for this. I just want to make sure that you've gone through the process. And then the only way you can get a 0 on your interest inventory probably is that you don't submit one, or that you submit something that's just not, that just will not help you to get to know your students. So that's, all of these are flat 100s if you do what you're supposed to do with them. If we reflect back to the charts, please make sure you put several things in the chart, not just one, because if you go down the chart and you put one item for each, I will probably ding you on that, because to me that says that you didn't put forth the effort to really dig in or delve in to see what was in your community or what resources you could use. So try to at least make it look halfway decent with some of your resources or your supports or supports. Any questions about the getting to know your student document? Okay, all right. Then the document to demonstrate your communication with your students' families. You can use anything, newsletters are great. I don't have a problem with that. Letters are just simple if you want to write a letter, but if you do your newsletter, or if you decide that you want to send a letter home to the parents, make sure you introduce yourself. If you're going to do a newsletter, you can have a little section that says, meet your teacher, okay? Who's in the class? That would be your demographic information, how I'm going to work with everybody in the class, just different sections. Now, if you're writing a letter, just introduce yourself, talk a little bit about the demographics in your class. You don't have to necessarily break it down and say, I have 5 whites and 5 blacks. You don't have to do that. You can say, I have a variety of students from different backgrounds, if you like that. And then you could also tell how you're going to address the needs of all those different diversified students in your classroom. Tell the parents that, let them know, because it's important that they know that you're going to work in order to meet the needs of their children in that classroom. And then, of course, how can they communicate with you and how you're going to communicate with them throughout the year? Are you going to send home a letter regularly? Will they get folders in the mail or folders sent home by the students? Ever how you plan to meet with them, just let them know that that's how you're going to meet or communicate. You might want to say we're going to have, we know COVID is still prevalent, but we'll have PTA meeting once a month. So I expect you to attend, and at that particular time is when we can talk. So it's just how you are going to communicate with them on a regular basis. Are any questions about either one of those 4? Okay. All right. Text boxes we talked about. You know that you have text box 1.1, 1.1.2, 1.1.3, 1.2.1, 1.2.2, and I think 1.2.3. Did we go that far? Anyway, so we have the text boxes. So as I was saying, you only have to answer the questions from the text boxes. Slow computer. So I'll do it this way. Library of examples. No. Task 1. Week 4. And what I've done, I have merged your text boxes with the appropriate artifact. So just upload, you may have those questions and your artifact uploaded in the same area, okay? So that'll count as one assignment. You understand? Is that clear? Okay. Early childhood, elementary ed. And I think I told you I use elementary education because it's in between high school and early childhood. So with text box 1.1.1, understanding the contextual factors influencing instruction and student learning. Read the activity, example 1. Now, if you want to read example 2, I'm okay with that. And all you have to do is answer the questions at the very end of, at the very end of that activity. So I think, how many questions are for the first one? Does anybody have that up? Text box
4, I think.
So what you would do would be to copy those and just respond to them based on what you find in the that example. Are there any questions about that?
Just clarifying, so we read the first example, the one that says is a passing score, and answer the questions based on the passing score example.
That's right.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
And if you have time, you're just sitting around doing absolutely nothing, read the second one. I'm just trying to, it's a lot, so I'm just trying to help you out here. Any questions about those? It's not hard. And your letter again is a sample letter. Okay. So just make it up, make it look nice, make it look pretty, and submit it. Are there any other questions? Let's see. Then I think I've provided a definition for you for the learning activities and also for your instructional strategies. So that is embedded in your Moodle shell, just along above the activities that have been assigned. Any other questions? Okay, I'm going to the top here. Stephanie?
No, ma'am, I am fine.
You understand?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for all this clarification.
Okay, y'all had it. Okay, Cassandra, you have any questions? Y'all can unmute because I'm coming to you.
I was taking notes as you were writing things, as you were saying stuff, so I think I got a very clear explanation as to what.
And I did send an email. Go back and read the email that I sent to you, providing explanations for PPAT Task 1, and I think that will help you as well. And if you have questions, just send them. But please don't stress out about it. Just get it done. Kiara? No questions? You understand?
You answered all my questions.
Okay, good. Okay, Ashley?
I think I'm good until I start doing the assignment. Then I'll reach out if I need to.
You can do that, but you won't. It's simple enough. It's simple enough. All right, Candace, how about you? You good? Karen?
Yes,
No.
ma'am.
You good?
I am
Okay.
good. But I do have another question after we finish this.
No, okay. You can ask it now. You just want to wait. I'm okay.
But I do want to ask it. Okay, so I know you said that all of this stuff is submitted and done prior to your student teaching. Okay, well, I taught all last year, and this will be my second year teaching. I'm teaching summer school right now. So I'm trying to figure out how it plays into people who have already started. I mean, what time period actually is counted as your student teaching if you've already taught a year or more?
Okay, well, whenever are you going to have to student teach? You have to have, and you'll be residency, am I correct? Are you a residency student? Okay.
Yes,
all
ma'am.
right.
But I mean, as far as student teaching, I mean, I've already taught on my own for a year, so I don't know how they recognize if I thought that was considered my student teaching last year. I mean, even though I don't have to stay with somebody else, I have my own classroom.
That's right. Okay, what does your plan of study say?
It says I'm in the residency program. It says I have to do the PPAT.
Does it say you have to do 499?
No. You mean the class 499? No, ma'am.
Okay.
That's not on mine.
Okay, so if you don't have to do 499, you probably need to talk with Bullard Maxwell. Did she develop that? Did she develop your plan of study?
She did. And I asked Tori Herring, I asked her about it, and she said if she put it on there, you have to do it. But yet I have to take 485 and 487. And I have to take a couple more classes, but they're not 499.
Okay, so here's what you have to do because you have to take
my internet is
because you have to take the PPAT. Whenever you get ready to take it, just go ahead and take it. Go to www.ets.org and sign up for it.
Okay.
And just use your classroom. And for example, with task 1, you would do what we're doing now. Okay, this is task 1.
But I do it in here. And then do it again at that time. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, this is practice. I don't expect you to give me everything that you would give ETS, and I do in a way, but I want you to at least have knowledge of what the activity looks like for you. Okay, so that's what this is about. I think you probably need to touch bases with Dr. Bullard Maxwell, just to make sure that you don't have to have 499. Residency students normally just complete the PPAT within their own classrooms.
Okay.
So everything.
I will reach out.
Okay.
I'll reach out to her. I just wanted to make sure, but I am supposed to be taking this class though. That 487. That is for sure, right? I wanted to make sure because I wasn't sure.
If you are an education major or residency, you have 485, 486, 480, 487. We used to have, so you have to take all of those plus anything else that she adds to your plan of study.
And that's
If you are a traditional, you have to take the same courses if you're a traditional student. And I think probably maybe most of you are that are on tonight are probably residency.
Mhm.
I think most
I
of you
am.
do
And
residency.
Karen, what you said was really helpful because I brought out my plan of study as soon as you started naming classes. But
I
I
need to
have
pull my-
everything you were having, but I also have 481, which is a clinical residency. So I don't
I
know if
have
you
to do that as well. And
Okay.
I'll finish up December 12th. I do the clinical residency coming up, but you don't, do you have 499?
No.
Okay, I don't either.
Well, your clinical residencies, what number is that?
481.
Yes, that we'll talk to you about the PPAT.
Okay.
Okay, that should
Right.
cover all 4 tasks.
Okay.
Okay.
right.
Shelby, I saw
Thank
you shaking your head. What be the problem?
Can you come look and see if it's their internet or my internet?
Oh, she having issues.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Karen, Candace, Margaret, how are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
You
good. I'm in about the same situation as Karen. I'll start teaching this year, but I have already was
Wait,
in the.
hold on, Shelby.
I mean,
Shelby, can y'all mute? Cause y'all having a party over there. Thank you.
Okay. I was in the teacher licensure program, and I think I've taken all the courses. It was scheduled to take the internship this starting school year, but I've secured a job at Rose Hill Magnolia. So this will be my first year teaching.
Okay. All right. So you'll do the PPAT. Yeah. You'll do PPAT.
Yeah, Dr. Bullard said that she'll transfer me over to the residency program once I get my job offer letter.
Okay, right. So just keep me in the loop because I think you may have sent me that so that you were looking into that. So I need to know specifically so I can take you off my student teaching list because I just sent that out today.
So when do I need to start my PPAT assessment? When I start my first class, my class start?
Okay, we'll look at the schedule. I wouldn't worry, you're scheduled to student teach in the fall. That's when I would apply to do PPAT. When you go back to work in the fall. Because there's a schedule. You have to register for the PPAT. And I'll look that up before you go. But Shelby, Margaret, I need you to remind me to look that up and then I'll talk to you a little bit about that. All right, Shelby.
Okay.
Can you hear us? No, ma'am, she can't hear. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am. Do you understand? You have problems?
You answered my question about the artifact. I had sent you an email about the artifacts because I really didn't know what you were asking for, but I understand now. But like with me, I think I just graduated with the a degree from UMO with early childhood. I mean birth through kindergarten. And I'm not even sure if I'm gonna have to actually. Will I have to take this practice test?
Yes, ma'am.
Because my job told me that if I only taught kindergarten, that I wouldn't have to take a practice test.
No, ma'am.
Everybody. Everybody will.
That's the state. Don't get mad with us now.
Okay.
Everybody.
Well, I just get different answers from different people.
Okay. Well, let me just do some research for you, but I'm almost certain. It's everybody. It's student teaching. It's a requirement for student teaching internship. And student teaching internship is required by the state of North Carolina, whether you are doing it as a resident or as a traditional in the classroom student. Everybody has to take it. And we're kind of upset because with our traditional students, they have to take practice course, about $300. Then you have to take PPAT. It's what, $395, $400. Then you have to take your regular if you're at K6, you have to take the regular test for the state licensure. And if you are special ed, you have to take 4 tests for licensure. So it's a lot. It is so much. I think we were doing okay with secondary at one point in time because they decided that secondary majors had enough content that they didn't need to take praxis too. But then I'm thinking somebody got into bed with somebody from ETS and they reproduced the fact that secondary majors had to take the praxis too. And it's ridiculous because I know they have enough content. Now, when we look at elementary education majors, it's a little bit different because you have to teach math, you have to teach science, you have to teach language, you have to teach social studies. And there is no way in the world that you can get 18 hours of content in each one of those areas. If so, you'd be in school for longer than 4 years. So that's why they test K6 people, K6 candidates. So because you can't get enough core content for each one of those subject areas. So the test helps to show that you know your area of content. I don't know. But anyway, everybody has to test. Too much testing. Cassie, did you leave and come back? Okay. Any other questions?
Dr. Bell, I had one.
Yes, ma'am.
I might didn't hear it or just misunderstood. Is there 7 pages that we're supposed to type out as well with the task 1, or is that task 2?
Okay. You have with either task, it just depends. Whenever you sign on to complete the tasks, ETS will only allow you so much room for your responses, okay? You have what they call guiding prompts. And those guiding prompts, if you look at the text box samples I gave you, those 4 questions for like text box 111 are basically the guiding prompts with some additional information added to them, okay? It's not necessarily 7 pages. What's important to you is that you answer the question. And once you have answered or responded to the guiding prompt, you're done with that. If you do it thoroughly, they don't want you to go over. You have a limit of words. So I don't know where the page number comes in, but you just have to answer those questions. And I don't know if it's 7 pages. When you finish, you may wind up with 7, depending on how much you talk or how much information you provide for them. But I'm almost sure that probably by the time you finish task 1, you probably will have 7 pages if you are submitting it to ETS. And to remind you that task 1 is not submitted, it's not graded by ETS. It's usually graded by your supervising professor. So if you're in the classroom, you're going to submit that task. You have to submit task 1 so that you can submit task 2, 3, and 4. It will not allow you to do task 2, 3, and 4 unless you've submitted task 1. So let me look at the schedule. Any other questions? But the 7 pages, I guess, would not necessarily be a limit, but it may take that.
Yes, according to the website, it says 21,000 characters is your maximum.
Is your maximum. And those characters are the characters for them. But what I tell students is this. I tell them that type your responses into a Word document and save those. So whenever you get ready to, you can copy and paste and transfer a lot easier from the Word document to the praxis, the ETS document. And probably you're going to have to back out some words because the Word document will have more room for words than the ETS format. But what happens is you can easily back those out. But if you respond to the prompts, I think you'll be okay. Now let me see if I can locate that, find that schedule for you. Because there are dates for that. Okay. Registration for the fall would be for you. If you're gonna do it, you need to talk to Bullard Maxwell first. Your registration opens July the 19th. I'm just giving a schedule because this is probably not important to either one of you because of the fact that you're not student teaching. Now, for those of you who have class and you want to do it, once you talk to Bullard Maxwell, she'll give you this information. And she may wait until you take 481 before she allows you to do it. Registration opens July 19th. It closes September 1st, 2021. You can reschedule like September the 15th, and then you can cancel by September 15th. Then task 1, it'll open up September 1. So you have from September 1 to September 27th to complete the task 1. This is what my fall students will do. Task 1 is due September the 27th. Tasks 2 and 3 are due October the 13th, and task 4 is due November 10th. But you are also allowed to resubmit. Once you get your scores, they will allow you to resubmit, but there's a fee to resubmit, maybe about $50 or something. That is, if you get a score that you don't like and you want to resubmit, you want to tweak it and resubmit it, you can do so. But other than that,
that's for the students who will take $4.99.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. The student teaching interns.
Right.
The schedule that I just read for you was for them for the fall. So in your classroom, when you are ready, probably after, do you have 481 on your plan of study?
No, ma'am. I go to 499.
You do 499. Uh-huh. So
yes, ma'am.
Okay. So when you do 499, whenever it's time, when do you plan to student teach?
It'll be this upcoming fall.
Okay, that's right. You on the list? Are you on my list for the fall?
I should be.
For
I should be because that's my last class.
I don't know. What's your name? Stephanie DeRoberts. Hold on. I don't believe you're on my list. When did you submit your application?
I have to do it coming up at the end of this because that's my last class.
Okay, well it won't be fall 21 because I just finished those.
Oh, what they got going on? Tori.
Hold on. Let me get my list. Hold on.
You better be getting out your plan of study, Stephanie. You be like, look, it's there.
Are you? Wait a minute. What's your name?
Stephanie DeRoberts.
I have. Margaret is up here. Margaret student teaching this fall, right? But you have a job. Maybe.
Well, no,
you are not on my list.
Yeah, but it's
I'm gonna email Miss Tori.
It's too late now.
I'm still gonna email her and find out what she got going on.
Look, I don't think I have you on my list. The only Stephanie, I have a Stephanie Burns. Is that you?
Mm-mm.
This is $4.99. Am
Yeah,
I on your list?
For the fall.
Yes, am I on your list?
Who's that?
Kiara Mims.
No.
What's your last name, Kiara? I don't think
No,
she got
you're not on my list for student teaching for fall.
Maybe she's gonna do it in the spring.
Shelby Bud, is Shelby Bud on your list?
Shelby Bud's on my list.
Okay, thank you, Jesus.
Shelby is on my list. Shelby, you're looking to go to, is it Wayne?
Yeah, I tried
to
switch it, but you fussed at me so bad.
Where did you want to go?
I put Tommy's Road, but then you argued at me when I tried to switch it to Brogdon because it was close to my house.
They just haven't placed you yet.
I'm going to Brogdon.
As far as I know,
thank you.
No. Oh no, I didn't. I thought you wanted to go to another county. You okay as long as you stay within that county?
No, I want to stay in the same county. I'm a teacher assistant, and our Wayne County will pay me to student teach through if I did it through Wayne County.
Oh, okay. Well, they had you're fine. They just haven't made the assignments, and I sent the information out today, but I had yours to be determined because they haven't responded, and it's middle of July, so I don't know what's going on. They have never been this late. And they only have 2 to place for me, but they haven't placed them yet.
Okay.
Stephanie, let me know what's up with you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, I will.
But you are not,
I will.
Unless I missed you. Let me ask you this question. Did you
Yes,
complete a student teaching internship application?
No.
Okay.
No, that's why I said maybe Miss Tori moved it to spring.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Because you had this course. What else do you have to take?
I've taken them already. I had classroom management. I had leadership development.
46.
And then this one.
47.
Yep. And then no, I do got one more. Facilitating of learning.
485.
Yep, 485. Yep.
Yeah, that's what
you take that in the fall.
So I'll take that in the fall and then
be
do
ready
499 in the spring.
So let me tell you this, Kiara, you're shaking your head too, right? So when school starts in August, you need to submit your application because I normally take those in August to get you ready for the spring. It takes that long, almost a semester.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, because people, it's not important to people at the school system. They have so many other things to do. So they just keep pushing it back. And I have to keep sending emails. So I've done my diligence.
I have a similar situation where I'm currently an IA.
Okay.
In Wayne County.
Okay.
So would they allow me to do it through my school or would they move me?
It's wherever they put you. Go ahead, Shelby. What you say?
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
They won't allow you to student teach at your own school, at the school that you work at. But there is that you will get paid as student teach if you're an instructional assistant for Wayne County. So you just have to contact someone at central office and she'll direct you. She's the same someone that told me that I didn't have to take that practice test to teach kindergarten. You might don't need to contact her, but
now listen. Now you don't have to take a licensure test to teach kindergarten, but you do have to take PPAT. So she may have gotten them both mixed up. There is not a licensure requirement to teach BK, okay? But you still have to take the PPAT assessment. There's a difference.
All right.
There is a difference. Okay, so that may be what it was.
So PPAT is completely different than Praxis. Praxis is for licensing in the school system, right?
Okay, Praxis, PPAT is a Praxis test. So when we say Praxis, we have to say Praxis PPAT or Praxis Core or Praxis 2. When Praxis 2 for secondary education majors and licensure. Okay. Praxis PPAT is for student teaching internship. You have to take that before they will give you your license. And that score is submitted to the state. So you have to take PPAT, Praxis PPAT, and your licensure exams. They're two different exams, and you have to have passing scores on both of those, on all of those. Elementary ed majors have to take reading, foundations of reading, 090, and then a math. It can either be a Pearson's math or Praxis math, but you have to take those two tests. And of course, if you're early special ed, you have to take those that I just mentioned, plus a mild to moderate Praxis. So there you have it. It's a lot. I hate it for them, but it's a lot. So are there any other questions? So
I have a statement. I had something I wanted to say. Now, with Duplin County, just for to put it out there, I don't know. You know, I know you were talking about the BK, because I had asked about coming in as BK, but Duplin County wouldn't allow you to come in as a teacher unless you did do K6. So that's just something different. I don't know, for whoever was talking about the BK thing. I'm not sure about other counties, but for Duplin County, the licensure person told me straight out they weren't doing any more BK certifications. Anybody who come in had to be K6.
K6. Okay. So what happens with that? A lot of times the BK, the school systems look to put a BK teacher into a kindergarten classroom. Right. Well, the state says that in order to teach kindergarten in North Carolina, you have to have a K6. What they told you, you have to have a K6 elementary education degree.
Right.
Some systems will hire BK for kindergarten. I can't fuss with them. That's not me. If that's what they do, that's what they do. But there's some systems who won't hire you for kindergarten unless you have a K6. So apparently Duplin is moving to that direction. And mostly BKs are pre-Ks or anything up to, but not kindergarten. Because it's not it's a BK, to me it's birth to K, but you don't get the same, I guess, coursework as you would get from K6. It's a different set of coursework.
And I think they want the option of being able to move you around.
There you go.
Not just kindergarten, they want to be able to move you to K1, 2, 3, whatever they need, you know, so depending on that. So I know they were very straightforward about saying, we want you to come in as a residency, you know, with the residency license, but we need you to get a K6 certification.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about it. My house phone is ringing. Absolutely correct about that. You can only teach kindergarten if you come in with a BK, so or pre-K and kindergarten if they do anything. So you're more marketable with a K6. So, anyway, make sure nobody's waiting to come in. I wanted to let me see who's here so I can. Excuse me. Once I get your name, unless you have questions, you may leave. STEPHANIEDER. Kiara, I don't know what your last name is. Right.
Mims, MEMS.
Okay. Ashley. Do y'all have any other questions about any other assignments?
No, ma'am, I think I'm good.
I've tried to give you, is this the week you got off? Pretty much, except for reading the chapter so that you can get those activities done?
Reading chapter 9 and then the discussion board or the forum.
And this, I'm gonna share this with you. I had a complaint. I try to meet weekly, even though this is an online class, to answer questions and maybe to just teach a little bit. And I got a ding from a student that said, I thought this was an online class. So That's why we have a question and answer session. I'm not meeting you. I don't want to get a ding on that, but I knew that this was important enough to be able to answer your questions. So I came for that. So what I'll try to do is what I've been doing. I will try to send an email ahead of your class. Okay, is that okay? And you know, if you need me, send an email. I gave you my my cell phone because sometimes I'm out and about and I'm not always at the computer. So if you would just ahead, if you need to speak with me, send a text message with your name and say we need to talk or ask the question. That's all you have to do. Make sure you put your class number on it. Okay. All right, everybody. Y'all good to go? Okay, good. Anybody need to, who was it? Cassie? Who was it? Margaret? Who was it had the question about the chart?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you a question after everybody leaves. Yes.
Okay, y'all. I don't know what that's gonna be, so we'll see. Bye. Let me know if you need me.
I didn't want to keep everybody.
Okay.
I missed the first part. I didn't want to keep everybody.
Okay.
So, Professor Bell, I actually had a question too, but.
Well, hang around if you got a question.
It was in response to the email you sent me. So I know Miss Margaret Hall is waiting to talk to you. I guess I can just send you a follow-up email or send you a text message.
Well, is it important? I mean, it's up to you. Now you're here. If it's too private, you can do that, but she's okay. I mean, I'm good.
Okay. I'll send a message. I'll send a message. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Miss Margaret. Bye.
Yeah, Dr. Bell, on the chart, do we have a format that we have to use?
Now, Miss Margaret.
When we're doing the chart.
Let me see. Let me see if I have my.
And I'm an overthinker. I overthink too much instead of just doing it. Yeah, I always overthink.
Okay, I don't have that up. Are you on your, okay, I provided everything that you need in your syllabus. So that's why I asked, when I sent out, I asked you to look at the information. I provided a sample. Can you look? Because I don't know if I go to somewhere, I may lose you.
I pulled it up on my iPad.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I pulled it up on my iPad and looked at it. But I was just wondering, do we have a format that we fill in the chart?
Yes, that should be the. Okay, I gave you a sample. Go to www.ets.org. I may have the chart up
that's
there.
where okay.
Go to www.ets.org and you will see a chart. I did not provide charts for you, but you can find those.
Okay.
Let me see.
Yeah.
It's really rough. I'm gonna start the recording because this is.
That's what